If you walk into almost any pharmacy in America today, you'll see an entire aisle dedicated to multivitamins. Shelves filled with bright bottles promising energy, immunity, heart health, stronger bones, sharper memory, and even healthy aging. For millions of Americans, especially those over 50, taking a daily multivitamin has become almost automatic. It's part of the morning routine, coffee, breakfast, and a vitamin. Many people grew up believing that multivitamins were a simple form of insurance, a small tablet that filled the nutritional gaps in our diets. But over the past several years, independent laboratory tests have revealed something that surprised even experienced nutrition researchers. Some multivitamins contain far less usable nutrition than consumers think. And in certain cases, the tablets are made mostly from inexpensive filler materials, substances that provide structure to the pill but offer little real nutritional value. In other words, a pill that looks like concentrated health may actually be closer to chalk. That might sound dramatic, but the issue isn't imaginary. Consumer watchdog groups, supplement testing laboratories, and university researchers have spent years analyzing the composition of vitamin supplements sold in the United States. What they found raises questions that many people never considered when they picked up the familiar bottle. Some tablets failed dissolution tests, meaning they didn't break down properly in the body. Others contained nutrient levels that differed significantly from what appeared on the label. And in some cases, the bulk of the tablet consisted of binders, fillers, and manufacturing additives that consumers rarely notice. Now, before we go further, it's important to say something clearly. Not every multivitamin is ineffective, and many reputable brands invest heavily in quality testing and formulation. But the supplement industry operates under a regulatory framework that is very different from prescription medications. Unlike pharmaceutical drugs, supplements are not required to undergo extensive pre-market approval before they reach store shelves. That means much of the responsibility for quality control rests with the manufacturer. And sometimes, the only way problems come to light is when independent laboratories decide to test the products themselves. In today's video, we're going to look at 12 multivitamins that have raised concerns among researchers and consumer advocates, including some products that failed basic lab tests designed to measure how well a vitamin actually dissolves in the body. Because if a vitamin tablet doesn't break down during digestion, the nutrients inside it may pass through your system without being absorbed, essentially turning your expensive supplement into something far less useful than you expected. And before we begin, I'm curious about something. Do you take a daily multivitamin? If you do, I'd really like to know which brand you use and why you chose it. Was it recommended by a doctor, a family member? Or did you simply trust a brand name you've seen for years? Share your experience in the comments. It helps everyone learn from each other. Now let's begin with one of the most recognizable names in the vitamin aisle. A brand that has been around for decades and is trusted by millions of Americans, Centrum. For many families, Centrum has been the default multivitamin for generations. The brand is widely available in pharmacies, supermarkets, and big box retailers. Its marketing emphasizes balanced nutrition and daily health support. But several years ago, testing conducted by independent organizations found that certain multivitamin tablets across the industry, including some widely sold products, struggled to meet dissolution standards. Dissolution testing measures how quickly a tablet breaks down in conditions that simulate the human digestive system. The reasoning is simple. If the tablet doesn't dissolve properly, the body may never access the nutrients inside. In some cases, tablets remained partially intact even after extended testing periods. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean the product provides no nutrition, but it does raise concerns about how efficiently the vitamins are delivered to the body. And that brings us to something many consumers never think about when they swallow a vitamin pill. Tablets are actually complex manufactured products. To hold the ingredients together during production and shipping, Manufacturers rely on binding agents, fillers, lubricants, and coatings. Common examples include calcium carbonate, magnesium stearate, cellulose compounds, and silicon dioxide. These substances help the pill maintain its shape and survive months on store shelves. But they also take up space inside the tablet. In some formulations, these inactive ingredients can represent a significant portion of the pill's weight, which means the actual vitamin content might be a smaller fraction than many people assume. Another widely recognized brand that has been part of discussions about supplement testing is One A Day. As the name suggests, this product promises a simple solution: 1 tablet per day for complete nutritional coverage. For busy consumers, that promise is appealing. But when researchers examine multivitamin tablets in the lab, they don't just measure vitamin content, they also evaluate how the tablet behaves during digestion. And across the supplement industry, dissolution failures have occasionally appeared in various brands over the years. Again, the issue isn't always the presence of vitamins. It's whether those vitamins become available to your body after you swallow the pill. If the tablet passes through the digestive system only partially dissolved, the nutrients may never be absorbed effectively. In that case, the supplement may deliver far less benefit than expected. Another product that has drawn attention in discussions about tablet composition is Nature Made Multi for him and her. Nature Made is actually known for participating in certain third-party testing programs, which many experts consider a positive step. But even reputable brands face the same manufacturing challenges that affect the entire supplement industry. Balancing ingredient stability, tablet durability, shelf life, and dissolution speed is a complicated process. And sometimes, tablets that are designed to survive shipping and storage become too durable for optimal digestion. It's a strange irony. The very engineering that protects the pill during transport can sometimes interfere with how the body processes it. Now, here's something else that might surprise you. Some multivitamins rely heavily on a mineral called calcium carbonate as both a nutrient and a filler. Calcium carbonate is commonly used in antacids, and chemically speaking, it's very similar to chalk. In fact, the white powder used in chalk and the calcium carbonate used in many supplements share the same basic chemical structure. That doesn't automatically make it harmful. Calcium carbonate is widely used in foods and supplements. But when large amounts are used to build the structure of a tablet, it can give the product a dense, chalk-like composition. And that's where the nickname chalk vitamins started appearing in consumer discussions. Not because the tablets literally contain classroom chalk, but because their texture, density, and filler composition can be surprisingly similar. Another brand that frequently appears in the vitamin aisle is Spring Valley Multivitamins. Spring Valley products are widely sold through large retail chains and are often marketed as affordable alternatives to premium brands. Price-conscious shoppers often assume that vitamins are essentially interchangeable. But manufacturing quality can vary significantly depending on ingredient sourcing, formulation methods, and testing protocols. Lower-cost supplements sometimes rely more heavily on fillers and binding agents simply because those ingredients reduce production costs. And while that doesn't automatically make a product ineffective, it does raise questions about how much of the tablet is delivering actual nutrition. Because when a pill weighs over a gram, but only a small portion of that weight comes from vitamins and minerals, the rest of the tablet has to be something else. In many cases, that something else is simply structural material, binders, fillers, lubricants, coatings, the hidden architecture of tablet manufacturing. Now let's talk about another well-known brand that many consumers trust for natural health products, Nature's Bounty Multivitamins. Nature's Bounty has been part of the supplement industry for decades and markets a wide range of vitamins and herbal products. But even long-established companies operate within the same regulatory framework that governs the entire supplement market. And that framework relies heavily on post-market oversight. In other words, products are monitored after they reach consumers rather than undergoing extensive testing beforehand. This system works well when companies maintain strong quality control. But it also means problems may only become visible when outside organizations decide to investigate. Which brings us to one of the most important questions consumers can ask when choosing supplements. Has the product been independently tested? Third-party certification programs like USP, NSF International, and Consumer Lab evaluate supplements for ingredient accuracy, contaminants, and dissolution performance. Products that pass these tests can display certification marks on their packaging. But here's the key detail many people don't realize. Participation in these programs is voluntary. Some companies choose to submit their products for independent verification, others do not. And unless you specifically look for those certification seals, it can be difficult to know which supplements have undergone additional testing. Now, as we move further down this list, the next group of multivitamins raised a different kind of concern during laboratory analysis. Not because they failed dissolution tests, and not because they lacked vitamins entirely, but because the levels of certain nutrients didn't always match what the label promised. And when those discrepancies were revealed, it raised a larger question about trust in the supplement industry. If a multivitamin label promises specific nutrient amounts, how certain can consumers be that those numbers are accurate? In the next thread, we'll continue uncovering more multivitamins that spark discussion among researchers, including one popular brand sold in warehouse stores, another marketed specifically to seniors, and the surprising reason some vitamins may pass through the body almost completely unused. When most people look at a multivitamin label, they assume something very straightforward. If the bottle says it contains 100% of your daily value for vitamin C, vitamin D, or vitamin B12, then that's what you're getting. But laboratory testing over the years has revealed that the relationship between the label and the actual contents of a supplement can sometimes be more complicated than consumers expect. In some cases, nutrient levels vary from what appears on the packaging. Sometimes they are slightly higher, sometimes slightly lower. Manufacturing variability can play a role. Raw ingredient quality can vary from batch to batch. And over time, certain vitamins naturally degrade, especially when exposed to heat, oxygen, or moisture. But when discrepancies become large enough, they raise important questions about consistency and quality control. One brand that has been widely discussed in conversations about supplement labeling accuracy is Kirkland's Signature Daily Multi. This product is extremely popular among consumers who shop at warehouse retailers, largely because it offers a large quantity of tablets at a very affordable price. And on the surface, the formula looks impressive. A long list of vitamins and minerals appears on the label, often covering or exceeding recommended daily values. But nutrition scientists point out an important detail that many people overlook. The presence of a vitamin on the label doesn't always guarantee how well the body will absorb it. Bioavailability, the body's ability to absorb and use a nutrient, depends on the chemical form of the vitamin, the formulation of the tablet, and how the supplement interacts with digestion. For example, certain forms of vitamin B12 and magnesium are known to be absorbed more efficiently than others. Yet many lower-cost multivitamins rely on the least expensive chemical forms available. That doesn't mean those forms provide no benefit, but it can mean the body absorbs them less efficiently. Which brings us to another well-known brand marketed specifically toward older adults, Centrum Silver. Centrum Silver is designed for people over 50 and is widely recommended for supporting bone health, immune function, and overall vitality as we age. But some nutrition experts have pointed out that many multivitamins designed for seniors still rely heavily on dense tablet formulations that include large amounts of binding materials. These binders serve an important purpose in manufacturing. They allow tablets to hold their shape during production, packaging, and transportation. But when a pill becomes extremely compressed, it can slow down how quickly it breaks apart in the digestive system. And if dissolution takes too long, the nutrients inside may not be fully released before the tablet passes through the body. That brings us to another brand frequently seen in pharmacies and supermarkets, Rite Aid Daily Multivitamin. Store brand supplements are often produced by third-party manufacturers that supply multiple retailers. This isn't necessarily a problem. Many large supplement producers manufacture products for several brands at once. But quality standards can vary depending on the specifications requested by the retailer. Some retailers demand extensive testing and certification. Others rely more heavily on manufacturer assurances. That's why independent verification programs have become so important in the supplement industry. They provide an extra layer of oversight beyond the company producing the vitamin. Another multivitamin that has generated discussion among supplement analysts is Nature's Whey Alive, once daily. Nature's Whey markets this product as a whole food energizer, emphasizing blends of fruits, vegetables, and botanical extracts alongside traditional vitamins and minerals. For consumers looking for something more natural, that marketing can be appealing. But some experts caution that the actual quantity of plant-based ingredients in many whole food vitamin blends is extremely small. Often measured in milligrams, tiny fractions compared to the amounts found in real fruits and vegetables. That doesn't necessarily make the product misleading, but it highlights how marketing language can sometimes create impressions that differ from the nutritional reality. Another vitamin that has drawn attention among researchers is Rainbow Light Men's One Multivitamin. Rainbow Light built its reputation around formulas marketed as easier to digest. And while many consumers report positive experiences with these products, laboratory analysis across the supplement industry has occasionally revealed variability in nutrient levels depending on batch testing and storage conditions. Again, this doesn't necessarily indicate wrongdoing. It reflects the inherent challenge of producing stable vitamin formulations that remain consistent over long shelf lives. Many vitamins, particularly vitamin C, folate, and certain B vitamins, are sensitive to environmental conditions. Exposure to heat during shipping or storage can slowly degrade these nutrients over time. So a bottle sitting on a shelf for months may not contain exactly the same nutrient levels it had when it left the factory. Now let's look at another popular supplement brand that markets itself as a premium option, Garden of Life Vitamin Code Multivitamin. Garden of Life emphasizes raw, whole food-based formulations designed to mimic nutrients found in natural foods. The brand has a strong following among consumers who prefer organic or minimally processed supplements. But even premium supplements face the same fundamental challenge. Turning a wide range of vitamins and minerals into a single compressed tablet requires binders and stabilizers. Without those materials, the pill would simply crumble apart. And that means even high-end multivitamins contain a combination of active nutrients and inactive structural ingredients. In some cases, those structural materials make up a surprisingly large portion of the tablet. Which brings us to another brand many shoppers encounter in health stores. New Chapter Everyman's One Daily. New Chapter focuses heavily on fermented vitamins and whole food-based nutrients. Fermentation can improve bioavailability for certain compounds, and some research suggests that fermented nutrients may be easier for the body to absorb. But even with these advanced formulations, the final product still relies on tablet manufacturing techniques that require fillers, binders, and coatings. The difference between a high-quality supplement and a lower-quality one often comes down to ingredient sourcing, manufacturing standards, and independent verification. And that's where many consumers begin paying closer attention. Because the most important question may not be which vitamin you choose. It may be whether the product has been verified by an independent laboratory. Organizations such as USP, NSF International, and consumer lab test supplements for ingredient accuracy, contamination levels, and dissolution performance. Products that pass these tests can display certification seals on their packaging. Those seals don't guarantee perfection, but they do indicate that the product has undergone additional scrutiny beyond what is legally required. Now here's the bigger picture that many nutrition experts emphasize. For most people, the foundation of good nutrition still comes from food. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, fish, eggs, and lean meats naturally contain vitamins in forms the body recognizes and absorbs efficiently. Multivitamins can serve as a backup, a nutritional safety net when diets fall short, but they are rarely a complete replacement for real food. And understanding what's actually inside a supplement helps consumers make smarter decisions. The goal isn't to create fear around vitamins, the goal is awareness. Because the supplement industry is enormous, worth tens of billions of dollars each year. And in a market that large, quality can vary widely from one product to another. Some multivitamins are carefully formulated and rigorously tested. Others rely heavily on inexpensive fillers and dense tablet compression that may limit how effectively the body uses the nutrients. Which is why asking a few simple questions can make a big difference. Has the supplement been independently tested? Does the company provide transparency about manufacturing standards? Are the ingredient forms known to be well absorbed? And perhaps most importantly, do you actually need a multivitamin at all? For many people who maintain a balanced diet, the body may already receive most of the vitamins it needs from everyday foods. But for others, especially older adults, people with dietary restrictions, or those with certain medical conditions, supplements can still play a valuable role. The key is choosing wisely, because when a small tablet becomes part of your daily routine, you deserve to know exactly what you're swallowing. And if this investigation made you look at vitamin bottles a little differently, consider sharing this video with someone you care about, a spouse, a parent, a friend who takes supplements every morning without thinking twice. Sometimes the most powerful step toward better health isn't adding another pill. It's simply understanding what's already inside the ones we take.